Coming up on Building with Bap.
If you approach some a group of individuals and they seem standoffish, then understand the body language. And it's like, well, hey, yo, we ain't here to really interrupt your day, but we just praying for this community. So as we keep it moving, because if I'm out here on my square and I gotta have my poker face on right now, that's what's up. But see, you got a mama that you worried about who live right in this hood. You got some little sisters, some cousins. You got some little dudes that even though you out here doing what you're doing, you always telling him, don't do what we do, go to school. So like, yo, man, like I'm like, hey, homie, I always keep my mom in prayer. So even if, this ain't for you, you want us to pray for your mom? You want us to pray, and then dudes open up like, yo, you know what? Hey, homie, I got an aunt right now, man. Like my aunt, she like on an oxygen machine right now. Like I'm always worried about her. Keep her in prayer. But if you wasn't out there, just that will touch that person. As some people randomly came through. I was standoffish, but they said they'll pray for my family. I just threw it out there. Yo, pray for my aunt, homie. She like on that oxygen and stuff. Do you know what that might water that God already planted? Or do you know what we may have just planted that God may use another instance and other people later on to water? Let us just do some work for the kingdom and let the Holy Spirit do the rest.
Building with Bap.
Welcome to another edition of Building with Bap. I'm your host, John the Bap, where we sit down with great people, discuss their journey in life, discuss Christ, everything, all of the above. Right now on the show today, I'm very excited. We got a special brother, and not to say anybody special, because he'll tell you about that. I know his slogan anyway. But anyway, he's special to me, bro. My man, a man of God, super man of God, super Christian hip hop artist, and all of the above. He runs down the line, husband, father. He'll tell you all about these things. None other than my man, Zaydok the Godhop MC. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's good, Bap?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. How's everything?
Man, everything is good, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute, man. It's been a journey, man. I've been watching your journey. I know you've been watching mine. We first met back in I think the summer of 2016. First time I came out into Connecticut. I was in the Connecticut area with Hog Mob, and you interviewed us at that time, and ever since then, every time we in each other's circumference, it's just love. It's brotherhood, and it's good. It's good to see you, man. Congratulations, man, on your family, your marriage, all of that, homie. I'm just excited for you right now as much as I'm excited for myself.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man. That's a blessing. And it's an honor to have brothers like you on the show, man. I just, I smile when I see you, bro, because it's always love. It's always, I don't even use the word energy, but it is that, you know what I mean? That's the God in you that shines through in it, and I always feel it, man. You know what I mean? Genuine love. I remember seeing you up in Brooklyn one time. We were at an event together, and it's always been love. You know what I mean? And then seeing you, like you said, in New London and all of that, you're a man of ministry, man. A man after God's own heart. A man after the hearts of the people. Like y'all came through and blazed the stage, but y'all ministered that night, man. And a couple of times I think I saw you guys up there, but y'all, really came through and ministered to the people, man. And that's what I really like to see. You know what I mean? And I was ministered to as well. So it's an honor, bro.
Amen, bro. I appreciate you saying that. I think that at the end of the day, I won't speak against the idea of fandom, if that's what you want to call it, like, because there's music attached with this. Let's be honest. The reason we came out there is because people know of us through our music ministry. So because they know the music and they like it, they bring us out. But who are you bringing out? Like, we're not no superstars. Like, I'm not the guy who lives off of Christian rap music. I do it because I like to be heard. I love to rap. I love to exalt God. And any excuse to get me around other Christians just to see what they about and what the church is about in other places, that's what it's about, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, the word fan in music construct comes from the word fanatic. Like these people who go fanatic for these idols. You know how they'll call these big stars in secular music and beyond idols. They even got a show dedicated to musicianship called American Idol.
Yep.
But that's not what we are. You know, the word idol comes from the Greek word icon. We are not icons. We are servants of God, like us from afar. We want you to know that once we come into your presence, people who got up, probably tired that morning, just like you. We was hungry and had to go get some breakfast, just like you. We come into this place, and when our brothers and sisters in the faith allow us into their church homes and their places of worship for a night, we're not coming there to be bigger than anyone. No, we're coming to let you know we're just like you. We got the same struggles, and we fighting the same God. I mean, I'm sorry, we're fighting the same fight in life, and therefore we believe we are redeemed and protected and edified by the same. It's all about. And so we really appreciate the servants of God bringing us out and encouraging us, like, yo, what y'all doing is worth it. This music is encouraging. It's dope. Y'all got talent. It sounds great. And you know, that's really what it's all about, man. So I'm glad you got that impression. You didn't get the impression we were standoffish or we were there just to do music and that we don't really preach the word, because we're not guys who just put Jesus in constructed places in our bars to make you think we serve God. Nah, that ain't what it's about.
Yeah. No, I love that, bro. I love that, man. Just a true heart of ministry, man. And it's evident, you know, anybody that comes, they're going to get touched, not by you, but by the Lord. You know what I mean? You guys are vessels, man. You know, and I'll save it for whenever you say it, because I know it's coming.
Well, you know the moniker, man. It's your boy, Zaydok the Godhop MC, hashtag just the best of nobody special, a.k.a. Young Chimney, repping that HOG.
Yeah.
M-O-B. Yeah.
I love that, man. It never gets old every time I hear it, bro. I think I heard AI say that joint in the rhyme recently. Might have been that Cypher joint they got going, man.
Yeah, she actually did. She was like, yo, Zay, did you catch that bar I used? I was like, what you talking about? I just love the Cypher. Yo, shout out to my sis, AI the Anomaly. Shout out to the God Over Money family. Shout out my whole Hog Mob team. Brother Seb, Seven Dudes, Bazooka, all the brothers who out there just getting it in. My boy Fonz Carter, shout out the newest member of Hog Mob. Y'all be hearing more from him soon. The homie Live SP coming out of Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out my bro Zion down in Savannah, Georgia. Shout out the homie Harvey Turno. Shout out my man Skill the Lightmare out there in well, Skill is actually in Arizona right now, I think. Yeah, we got hogs all over the country. Shout out my man Eric C. Shout out my man Brother Ruff. Yo, it's just dope dudes out here for the Lord, and we got something to say, man. We got something to offer, so hopefully the Lord keep giving us the opportunity to do that.
Absolutely, man. Tell them what the hog means, man.
Well, Hog Mob is the Lord put on the table. He put it in the heart of my brother Seven to start this movement that started in Sacramento back over like 12, 13 years ago or something like that. And it's HOGMOB. It stands for Hooked on God, Ministry Over Business. And at the end of the day, that's what we are. And, you know, what's interesting is sometimes we catch a flat from certain groups of people within the church world because they like, yeah, these guys trying to look hood and they trying to this. No, see, you got it wrong. We're from neighborhoods. Like, we didn't move to suburbs.
Right.
We still in the neighborhoods. Maybe if we lived somewhere else, we would look different. What we supposed to wear suits? What is wearing a classical suit? Is that what church folk look like? Like, don't mafia bosses get indicted in suits too? Don't corporate executives who run scandals on Wall Street get indicted in suits as well? So y'all see how I look right now? So this is really how I dress, and I wear, instead of wearing Nike and whatever, you know, all of them brands out there, bro, I wear Hog Mob related stuff, Rebel Against the World, God Over Money. I wear Christian hip hop oriented stuff. And when we out on the block and we stop at the liquor store to holler at people who coming in and out the store, or when we just on the block and we hollering at young homies who getting out of school and they waiting for the bus, we look like what the neighborhood looks like. We're not trying to look like something we're not. And the last thing I'll say is, if anybody got a problem with our testimony, we're not posing either. Some of my brothers can't even travel certain places because of their criminal records from their past life before they were redeemed and saved. And so when y'all hear us talk about what we came from, give God glory, because we're not glorifying where we come from. We're telling you that's no longer what it is. So yeah, man, when people see Hog Mob, I think sometimes they get the wrong impression, like somehow we still want to sell drugs or run guns, treat women foul. No, we still look how we look. We just redeemed. Look at you, Bap. Hey, Bap, unfortunately, the same body you in right now, that same frame, that's the same frame you lied in. You used to lie with that same mouth. You probably unfortunately in your past life in that same body. God, you don't come around looking like an Asian guy now. You still look like Bap, but you're redeemed now. So I still look how I looked before I got saved, but I'm redeemed now. In the hood to tell you, how come they believe us outside, but people in the church still doubt?
Yeah. I heard it once said a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago. A pastor was explaining to me how, like, God takes the sin and removes it from the man. He doesn't change the man's personality. If he was funny, he's going to be still funny. You know what I mean? He removes the sin, but not, he created us to be a certain way. So if we still, speak the slang and got our little lingo going or whatever was popping with this and that, we are who we are. He removes the sin out of us. Not that we don't sin, but I mean our sin nature. You know what I mean? And so he cleans us up, but we're still who we are. So we can still dress hip hop. We can do whatever we want to do. And I never get on the defensive tip about all of that stuff. I just be,
we're still in the rap culture at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, it's like whoever's rocking with it is going to rock with it. Whoever's not, it's not for them.
I'm going to tell you this.
And I keep it pushing.
Hey, Bap, if I'm in New York, right? Because, sometimes I be in New York. My homie Say the Corner out there, different dudes and Christian rappers out there. Now, we do events. Shout out to homie Marcus Hall, Kingdom Time Entertainment, the whole Kingdom Choice Awards that happen every year at Long Island Institute down in Brooklyn, New York, downtown Brooklyn. Yo, when we in Brooklyn and we see some of the famous New York oriented rappers, and we stop and we say, hey, how you doing, homie? What's good? Yo, bless you in the name of Jesus, bro. How you living out here, man? Yo, you believe in God? Our approach isn't funny to them because when they see us, they're used to this.
Yeah.
But the spirit we come in and the substance that's coming out of our mouth, which is an indication of what's in our hearts, is what's changed. But when they see us, they not put off. You feel what I'm saying? One dude was like, yo, enough respect, homie, because I got cousins, man. I got a couple cousins who Muslim. I got some cousins, man, who went to the church and this, that, and the third. And their family members are familiar to them. So, yeah, man, like you said, God changes the substance and still uses the vessel.
Absolutely, man. I think that's powerful, bro. Yeah, I mean, we didn't. Oh man, it's funny because my wife, she comes from a more, shall I say, religious background. Where it was very strict, and I think even the area I'm in now, I'm in Connecticut, but I came, grew up in New Haven. I'm up further north now. And when my wife and I got married, we moved to the Hartford area. And not for nothing, I had some boys that, they used to invite me up there to their TV shows and this and that. And I had my TV show running on Hartford, the Holy Hip Hop Hour, for like, as soon as I started, I just kind of put the show on hold right now. But, it's been running 12, 13 years in Hartford, and I would wonder why my boy who had a show, when he would invite me on his show and we'd play the videos and this and that, and he'd be going hard trying to defend Christian hip hop. And I was like, why is he on this crusade? Like every time I come on here, you know what I mean? But he was going in. And I was like, why is that? And so it wasn't until I moved up here where I realized what he was dealing with. Like we've held events up this way. And it's like, the people some people get with the Christian hip hop, but it's like a rough environment. It's a little hostile toward, like, if you come singing, oh, they with it. You're going to shout, you're going to sing and dance and this and that, or not to downplay that or whatever. But, you coming with the singing and the organ and all of that, oh, they with you all the way, 100%. But as soon as somebody starts rapping, they kind of stop clapping. They're looking at you funny, they might be listening, but, they hardened hearts. The ground is still very, very hard up this way, and so once I saw that, I was like, wow, I've been out here 10, at that time, it was like 10 years or something. And I'm like, I'm just realizing what it is up here. And that made me feel even better because I was like, yeah, we've been out here real hardcore with the Christian hip hop in the streets. I've passed out CDs, in the roughest places of the hood and all of that, and them dudes out there gave me mad respect. They seen the show, and they knew who I was. And it was so funny because one time, and I get more love from the hood dudes than a lot of the church people up there, believe it or not. Now I get a lot of support from the believers as well, but some people I just noticed, I was like, wow, it wasn't like that down in New Haven and more towards Bridgeport and a little closer to New York. It wasn't like that. So when I came up here, it was different, man. And it's been crazy because, like I said, I got more love in the streets. I went to like one of the roughest areas in Hartford, man. And the guy remembered me from a year before passing out CDs, As soon as he saw my name on the CD, he was like, John the Baptist. I was like, oh boy, what's about to go down right now, So, but the dude he was loving it, man. He was like, yeah, man, I remember you came out here. We was busting it up and this and that, because I like to talk to the people, get right up in their face, get right up in their space. I mean, they was bagging up work and everything, you know what I mean? And we having a conversation. Oh. Yeah, it was hot out there. I was like, yo, these dudes is crazy. They bagging up work in the open. But anyway, I guess they ain't worried, huh? Nah, they sure wasn't, yo. And but it was a real conversation, and some of the dudes, like, I loved handing out the CDs because a lot of times, brothers would test you right then and there, like, yo, we want to see what's on this joint. Yo, start the car up, yo, turn this on, and they put it right in. In that first song, if it don't hit them, and in every case it did, like, bang, right in the face, It was like, yo, man, I'm going to listen to this off the strength of this first one, yo, this is rocking, or whatever, however they were saying it, but it's I see it as Paul became all things to all men, that he may win some, it's like we are a part of the hip hop culture, and we come, like you said, we dress, how we talk, we're there to infiltrate, dudes on the street. I come from the street, I come from a lot of different things, athlete, ball, all this kind of stuff, but I can relate and identify with these brothers. And when you come dressed like them, talking like them, and you cool about it, you ain't weird about it, they're like, yo, they are open to hearing what we have to say, you know what I'm saying?
What's interesting? That stark contrast from church culture. Now, of course, sometimes when you out in the streets, some people don't want to hear it, and you respect people's space. They got the right to be like, nah, I'm good, bro, and you keep it moving. But church folk, though, in some instances, what? You know why I perceive in some instances, not all, in some instances, why they are so quiet or they get so reserved and more listening when it's rap. Because, bro, the traditional gospel music from a few generations ago and stuff like that, let's be honest, it don't really address people's sin.
Nah.
See, it praises God. And there's a time and a place for all things. So when you just singing unto the Lord, how great is our God, the name above all names, he is able. It's about from man to God in most traditional gospel. It's praise and worship music. And I love it. We have our time to do that. Christian rap does some of that, but you know what rap music is about? It's about, just like in the secular sense, it's telling you about the things that's happening in the neighborhood. And a lot of times it paints the dark picture of the more dark side of life, the drunk fathers, the deadbeat daddies, the mamas, searching for love and stuck in fornication, the young girl out there stuck in her sin, the young man lost to the world without guidance and getting in trouble. He gets into gang culture. He's being promoted to do evil, all of this. On this side of the track, we talk about coming from them things and how God saves you from sin. And some people are appalled at the details because they've forgotten what they've come from and what some are still secretly in. And it's easier to hear a song that don't talk about you. It always talks about God's greatness. But when you hear a rapper get up there and talk about the addictions and how we as believers are still fighting demons sometimes, and it ain't always, every day wasn't just an easy day to die in Christ, because Paul said, I die daily. Well, today, your battle to kill the old you may have been one of the toughest ones, but it's private. So when a rapper get up there and speak, bro, you don't know. Sometimes you prick in the heart of people who you don't know because you're speaking on things that always addresses us. One thing rap does is it talks directly to the person. Are you measuring up to the standard? No, don't exalt yourself above your neighbor. Judgment starts at God's house. They don't start out in the street. The Bible says it starts with those who claim to be his. So when you get them kind of messages through Christian rap, some people they kind of move in their seat a little bit. And we're also naturally aggressive because rap has a certain kind of aggressiveness it's very blunt. It's not the most soothing violin or organ playing or no. So I do understand why sometimes those who are stuck in more traditional bubbles, they be like, yeah, this is a little too. And then what they can do is they can hide behind the hardness of the beats and the look and the posturing and can be like, oh, it's of the devil. No, don't do that. Because at the end of the day, we know that if you open the Bible ain't patting us on the back. For those who study the Bible enough, it constantly reminds him of how far he's fallen from God and how far he has to go, even in God's mercy. His opportunity for us to come closer. We're not starting out close to God. We're starting out further from God. So, bro, I do think that times we may not always understand because we're just ready to hit the stage and present our opportunity. And you don't never know what's going on in people's hearts, man.
That's
came real, up in there and then chased out a few demons who hiding in a gospel concert.
Oh yeah. No, it's real, man. And that's what I love about it. Just even being led by the Holy Spirit while we're ministering. You know what I mean? The Lord may give you something. I remember I was saying in one of the other interviews, the Lord may give you, something to say in between the song. You know what I mean? And you may not know it, but you might be speaking directly to that person, that one person, or maybe many, that are in the crowd and they're like, wow, he's reading my mail right now. But the Lord knew what to tell you so it could prick right in his heart. You know what I mean? Right. And that's the ministry aspect of it. Like you said, it's demons sitting up in there or whatever, and you start spitting that word or whatever the case may be. And the Lord is breaking yokes and doing all kind of stuff, man. You see people breaking down, crying, and the Holy Spirit is hitting them while the music is going forth, man, because we're talking about these things. We're bringing up these things. Deliverance can spring forth after, like you guys, I remember, I think when y'all came, the altar call was crazy. It was bananas, like mad people, I think it was more intimate as far as we all came up. But the way the Lord moved, you know what I mean? And that's what I think some of the people that are opposed to Christian hip hop don't see. They haven't been to those experiences, the concerts where it's an experience with God. It's an encounter with God. You know what I mean? Just like as we're bringing forth, like we're laying down the groundwork, we bring up those songs that are hitting the person with those issues and they're getting tagged up, and the Lord is just nice and marinating, getting in their heart real nice. And then towards the end of the night, or whatever the case may be, it might not even be the end of the night, however the Lord leads, but it's a service, bro. You know what I mean? And people don't even realize, how God is moving mightily through this, bro. And I always look at it like, you never know what that person went through that day before that, the week before that, or whatever the case may be. But the Lord knew. And so he was like, yep, hit him right here. We're going to address this tonight. You know what I mean? And things like that go down, bro.
You know, one thing, some people just haven't been through what some of us have been through. And God has made us to talk to something. I'm going to tell you this, like right now, you know, we plan our touring season. So every year we're doing the Pray for My Hood tours all over America. And one thing that's interesting is when I'm not from a certain city. So we're here in this city for the weekend. So we know it's an event. We're only here for 2 days, but there's been an entity in the church that's brought us out. And so we the kind of dudes who, if we there early enough, we're going to get out and we're going to hit the street.
Yeah.
We ain't from here. We don't know what hood we in, and it don't matter really. Like, y'all, we know this is the address of where we gonna be, so we gonna go hit these streets. And what's interesting is that when besides, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, and you know, people take it how they want. And like my bro say, if I throw this rock and it hit you, I guess I wasn't trying to miss you, bro. To come into somebody's city. And as Christians who look how we look, we go hit the block and do, you know, cats be looking, because you might catch some dudes, they hustling, they waiting on something, or they just, and they're not used to our approach. It's fine. When you get into a conversation with somebody in a random city and they like, yo, you know what? You know what? Where's that? Yeah, I know where that church is. It's about a mile up the block. Like, hey, bro, you know what? If I got time, I might come out. I remember when we were in Camden, or we were in Trenton, New Jersey. And we walked these projects that was about a half a mile from the church. We like, well, yo, you know what they weren't used to? Because we asked. Dudes are like, yo, man, we really respect what y'all doing, man. We praying with dudes who outside in the middle of the projects. And they say, yo, bro, like Christians, like church folk don't come here. Like, the only people who might come through here is Jehovah's Witnesses. Them the only Christians we really see that they might stand at the corner, or they'll knock on your door in the projects. But how is it that we here for an event with this church that's a half mile up the block? How come that church ain't well known within a mile radius of its own community? And see, that right there shows us we might be coming to your church as a location to do an event. We're just coming to encourage the saints to go outside. See, we made for outside. And all of our music ain't always made to talk to those who are saved. A lot of our music is made talking to people who may not know the Lord either. And so sometimes church folk have an issue with that because of tradition. Yeah. And that God will prove who is doing what and what's being effective. And so all I can tell you is, if somebody come up into your church one day and they're like, yo, yeah, man, I wanted to just come, you know, I'm just trying to get my life right, man. And I was listening to whoever Christian rapper, and man, just listening to that dude music just really encouraged me, man, and kind of get my life together. What's somebody in a tribal church going to say against Christian hip hop at that point? What they going to say?
Right. I believe, you know, we're the sent out ones, man. You know, we're the ones that are out in the streets going to get them. You know, and like you said, you were praying right up there in the projects, bro. They didn't have to come that night. They got what it was, you know, whether they came or not. You know what I mean? You went out to them, and that's the thing. Like, that's always been my mission. Before the Holy Hip Hop Hour, all I did was hand out CDs on the street. That was my first ministry, bro. I used to make up nice little mixtapes, and I go hunting, you know, and I would tell my mom I'll be back, you know, and she'd be interceding for me, and I'll be out there on the street, you know, and I was like, you know, Lord, give me a word for cats, all of that, you know. You never know the conversations, man, that I got up into with dudes, you know, it was amazing. But I love that face to face, CD in the hand, you know what I mean? And I went to some hot spots. I went to my old neighborhood. I went cross town to the other neighborhoods, all kind of stuff. You know, I knew where the action was. But it's just amazing how God does things like that, man. And so since we're talking about that and infiltrating these hoods, man, tell us about the 100 Hoods prayer walk, bro.
Well, the 100 Hoods prayer walk is something, man, that we do where, you know, we try to set a number So this particular run, we running around and we doing a 100 hoods prayer walk, and our mission is to travel to 100 neighborhoods throughout America.
Wow.
From the West Coast, Midwest to the South, and different cities. You know, some places might be smaller in number, and some events in certain cities might be huge. But we pretty much have our goal. We are already booked, and this is the thing. We have people who are from these communities. They reach out to us. We promote. This is what we're willing to do. People reach out and say, well, I want to bring you to my city. So it's their job in their city to get people together. Once we have it solidified, we'll use our platforms to promote, because we not sometimes like put it like this, like if we got like in Ohio and then in Cleveland, they want to bring us. But people from Cincinnati and Toledo reaching out too, like, yo, y'all coming to Toledo? Well, we're not scheduled to come, but there's no reason that on that weekend you can't make that 45-minute drive over and come see us and come minister. And so what's happening is we're set up to hit 100 neighborhoods throughout America, and we're doing prayer walks.
Nice.
With community activists who said, this is something my community needs. And we're doing it in a way we used to. So you walk through certain neighborhoods and you see 30 people walking up the block together, and you looking like, yo, what is this about? And they stop and be like, hey, God bless you. And one thing that's interesting, see, some people are scared to approach what they consider those folk out there who lost and don't know the Lord. If you approach some a group of individuals and they seem standoffish, then understand the body language, and it's like, well, hey, yo, we ain't here to really interrupt your day, but we just praying for this community. So as we keep it moving, because if I'm out here on my square and I gotta have my poker face on right now, that's what's up. But see, you got a mama that you worried about who live right in this hood. You got some little sisters, some cousins. You got some little dudes that even though you out here doing what you're doing, you always telling him, don't do what we do, go to school. So like, yo, man, like, I'm like, hey, homie, I always keep my mom in prayer. So even if, this ain't for you, you want us to pray for your mom? You want us to pray, and then dudes open up like, yo, you know what? Hey, homie, I got an aunt right now, man. Like my aunt, she like on an oxygen machine right now. Like I'm always worried about her. Keep her in prayer. But if you wasn't out there, just that will touch that person. As some people randomly came through. I was standoffish, but they said they'll pray for my family. I just threw it out there. Yo, pray for my aunt, homie. She like on that oxygen and stuff. Do you know what that might water that God already planted? Or do you know what we may have just planted that God may use another instance and other people later on to water? Let us just do some work for the kingdom and let the Holy Spirit do the rest. We just one little thing. That's what this is about. That's what 100 hoods. So if we in 100 hoods and can sow or water 100 seeds, mission accomplished, homie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. I love it, man. Wow.
And I'm gonna say this, and it's not to be arrogant or nothing, but more individuals in the Christian rap community who got names. Some people got labels. Some people are way more popular than a Zaydok or than Hog Mob. Use your platform to do community-based things. It's one thing to get our bread, to get our honorariums, sell our merch, but we got to do stuff for the kingdom that has nothing to do with us profiting. God doesn't let you bring in increase. Then what is the work of the kingdom costing you? How much the kingdom that has nothing to do with you getting a financial return? It just got something to do with, as Christ saying, where it's better for us to give than to receive, because we know as Christians, if we're giving of our resources, then it's proof that God has blessed us somewhere to be able to at another time go out and give something. So I just want to encourage all the Christian hip hop. Let us be different let us not just be in the Christian world, a Christian version of secular, where all we doing is charging the saints money for us to show up. That can't be all that this thing is about, because if that's all it's about, then us making money is not the work of the kingdom, but us serving the poor, the fatherless, the widow, and the drunk. What did the Pharisees ask Jesus' disciples? Or master, always seen eating and talking with the drunkards and the prostitutes. When the last time you've been around some people with addictions, or those who stuck out in the fornicating and adulterous part of life and open in society? When I got outside a strip club and just gave out your music for free, because you know the people going in and coming out is up to something. Come on, man, do something, man.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And I believe, for me at least, I can speak for myself. I know the things that I come from, the sin that I was involved in. You mentioned the strip club and this and that, you know what I mean? And of course, we have to use wisdom when we're going back and infiltrating some of these environments. You know, you have to. That's
why you never go alone if you can. No. When you're going into the more dangerous the mission, the more soldiers you have.
True story. True story. You know what I mean? And so we oh man, God is so strategic with it, bro. Like you know, just even with the one man plants, the other man waters. You know what I mean? It's and God gives the increase, bro. You never know what seed you're watering, man. You know, I think that was so powerful how you were saying, you know, a good strategy. You know, hey, man, I know, you know, you out here, whatever, but can I pray for your moms? Can I pray for your grandmother, whoever, you know, oh, man, I just think that's powerful, bro.
Yo, ask somebody on the block, yo, man, if you got any homies who locked up right now or anything that happened out here, and you might got a homie who might be up in the hospital right now, like, just give us a name, homie, and we'll keep. As we keep moving, we're going to send some up to God for them to have mercy. They may not know the mercy we're asking for is that God will touch their heart to believe the gospel. Yeah, but still, when you put something on the table that's important to a person, you might just have a few extra seconds to get something done. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. So you said the 100 hoods are booked now? Is it final?
Well, yeah, but you know what? Let me I'll say this. I'm always told something, but you never know. So I would say for anyone who's interested, go to hogmob.com. If it's the 100 hoods, it has a certain season. Maybe you want to bring the Pray for My Hood tour that happens every year. To hogmob.com, hogmob.com, and you'll see like events and stuff, and then you can find out exactly, because if it's not, somebody might have an opportunity to be like, yo, we kind of want to secure you to, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what's up, man. Hogmob.com. Check these brothers out. So now, Zaydok, the Godhop MC, brother. I know you got something cooking over there, man. What's new on the pipeline for you? Any new music coming out, man? Videos, things like that?
Earlier, at the end of last year, I had dropped a project called It's CHH Volume 1. Just me expressing, I believe that this is Christian hip hop. This is what we talk about. This is how we move. And, you know, hopefully people are edified by it. But right now, there's a project that we haven't released the announced date yet in time, but just keep your ears open and your eyes open. It's a project called Salt. And it's based on the saying by Christ that you are the salt of the earth. And if the salt loses its flavor, then how you then season with. So the saints, the whole vibe we bring in is like just that thing that's needed in God's sight. This is what's needed for man, right? So it's like a 10-song project. And then following that up, I plan on dropping It's Christian Hip Hop Volume 2. So an album, and then followed up by an EP this year, with probably together between them two projects, a good 6 to 8 music videos, God willing. Like I told you before we got on, I just shot a video today. So, you know, just keep your ears open, and people can, should I give out my social media, bro, in case people want to kind of stay in tune?
Go ahead and hit it with them, man.
If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter and on Instagram at the Godhop MC, TheGodhop, the letters M and C. And then you can hit me up on Facebook and YouTube, Zaydok, Zaydok, the Godhop MC. So once again, Facebook and YouTube, Zaydok the Godhop MC, Twitter and Instagram at the Godhop MC. And those are the places where you'll be able to kind of stay in tune to what I'm doing musically and visually when it comes to the art.
That's what's up, brother. That's what's up, man. You know what, man? I don't know. Anything on your heart, man, you wanna build on, bro?
You know what? I'll say this. sometimes you hear this thing that happens when how can I say it? In the social media realm, sometimes because technology allows us to do like what we're doing. We're here on this app, we in two different states and yet we're conversing. These social media platforms allow people in 120 characters or less or whatever, posting pictures, little short video clips, people be on, hitting their IGTV, expressing their thoughts and stuff. And one thing that I hear is where people talk about the idea of there not being not enough unity in Christian rap. And it's kind of interesting to hear people talk from both sides. I will say this, the only true unity will be in the mission of the preaching the gospel, because the truth of the matter is this, for a lot of guys, they are looking at Christian rap as a career opportunity. Some guys are looking to quit their jobs. They want to have enough streaming, enough touring and merchandise sales where Christian hip hop becomes a moneymaker. And the line become blurred. Some people become successful at it. And the lines become blurred where instead of being brotherly towards someone, you being brotherly in a social media sense is connected to your brand. Well, I'm not going to tag. I'm not going to overly comment and show somebody love because of my brand. Because you're on the internet as a Christian protecting a brand more or less than just being a person and being able to tell somebody, yo, that was done. Hey, bro, I want to encourage you in that. Yo, keep going because this, that, and the third. Even getting on and saying some names. And if you got a label, if this person isn't your current artist or an artist you're going to sign, then it doesn't give you any or you don't give yourself license to use your platform to just be a regular person. So a lot of Christian rap individuals, unfortunately, are seen as personalities more than a person who you just identify. Like a majority of the people in your comment section or your live video are more or less in the same position than you, the person that they're watching at the time. Which is why I say, hey, I can't knock it. On one hand, I'm not knocking you doing business. But for those who will have that idea that why ain't it more unity? Because people aren't necessarily coming to the tables as a brother in Christ. They're coming to the table as a businessman using their social media as a platform. And I just want guys to understand that. Now, if the community want to have a discussion about that, God willing, have at it. Hey, yo, just invite me. I would love to be there for that conversation. And one more thing I'll say is this. It's only indicative of church culture because Christian rap, really, everybody in Christian rap is coming from some denomination, or got church home somewhere, this, that, and the third. So now when you bring doctrine and stuff into the belief, just as separate as Sunday services are in the same city, the Kojic folk here, the Southern Baptists here, the full gospel there, the charismatic Pentecostals there, the conservative Pentecostals over here, the evangelicals over here, the non-denominationals over here, just as separate as we are in our worship in our cities weekly, just as separate as people are in Christian rap. So maybe we need to look at this so-called thing that's called the body of Christ. And while we're all looking to talk about it, we're as separate as a finger off of a hand and as a toe off of a foot. We all point to Christ as being the head, but how congruent is this so-called body? So-called, because I'm not going to knock the true church of God, but just because I'm talking about churches, I'm not making a mistake of lumping everybody as being God's people per se. You know, church is business too. 501c3, corporate structure, you know. A lot of our churches is set up the same as the United States government. You got a president of the board, a vice president, a secretary of the treasury, a sergeant at arms who probably call the minutes of the meeting. And just look at it. We've become so like the world in our business structure that it don't always represent the business of building up one another and then building up the societies. And so I just wanted to address that. Thanks for giving me that opportunity, because it's just something I hear all the time. And I'd be like, well, what lens are we looking from to have the discussion? And I think that what I put on the table is just one angle that should be considered.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel that perhaps a forum of some sort should be set up to discuss this, because we are a body. And I think a lot of times we forget there are many members. You know what I mean? The big toe, the pinky, the armpit, you know, the neck, you know, all of these different parts, you know, and we are all to play our role, you know, on our assignments, the purpose and assignment that God has given us, you know, and so, yeah, and especially in a time like this, you know what I mean? As things are getting heavier and heavier, you know, I believe the body is going to thrive, but we have to come together in unity in order to do that. You know, a fist is way more powerful than a finger. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hit somebody with this, they're going to feel it instead of this, you know? So
unless it's Bruce Lee's finger. Unless it's Bruce Lee's finger.
Yeah, Bruce,
you know, the one finger punch. Hey, you know something? Hey, you know something? I want to encourage individuals who might see something like this and will wonder how to network. I'll tell you what me and others I know have. Take responsibility for your own backyard first. Unless someone famous from the genre gets brought to the city and I had nothing to do with it, if you come to Buffalo, New York, that's where I reside, and you ask in this city, yo, what's the Christian hip hop scene look like here? Who doing what? I guarantee you at least 7 to 8 out of 10 people who are connected to Christian hip hop in Buffalo, they're going to say my name. They're going to say my sis AI's name, my brother King Shad. They're going to say other people's name. You know why? Because of what we've done in our city to take control. And like you said, when you went up to the New Haven area, I think you said, or Hartford area.
Hartford, yeah.
You saw how more it was a little tougher and not as open and free, because you probably had more artists and more creatives down here in a bigger city. When you get up to a more conservative place, you have less of that. So guess what we did? Don't make it the church's responsibility to bring you. How about you and a couple people come together and y'all rent spaces at churches and put on your own events?
Yeah.
How about in the summer? How about in the summer you canvass a few places? How about you get a permit at a park to do an event with speakers, and you get a permit and you just promote to that city, we having a whatever in the love of God, whatever kind of picnic, and you and some local cats gonna present your artistry to 10 people show up. They about to get it.
Oh yeah.
Take responsibility for your own city, and then you put your own bread together and bring people. In the winter, you know what we would do? We would reach out to the different CHH entities and be like, yo, how much it costs to bring such and such? And they give us a response. We got a 5-6 man team. Or we could put on an event for $2-3 grand and not even be focused on making profit. If we make our money back, that's cool, because we didn't lose nothing. We did an event. We were able to get a fellow laborer in our city that might have a name to attract people. And then we give a couple local brothers an opportunity to be seen before that brother or sister minister. Hey, we put up $2 grand and we got 1,800 back that night. We didn't lose nothing. Yo, bro, I'll take my family to the movies and can blow $100, $200. Stop it. Stop it. So at the end of the day, Bap, I just want to encourage guys and girls. Take control of your own city. Stop looking for somebody you don't know to give you an opportunity, and get together with others like you in your location. Start to spin it. Have a 1 to 2, 3 year plan to build up your own scene. Invite others from outside now to it. And that might be how you get to meet people. That's how I shout out my bro Bizzle. That's how I met Bizzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand? Hey, shout out Social Club. I never met Fern and them boys until we brought them to our city. Shout out my man Eshawn Burgundy. We was doing our own events in Buffalo and reaching out, and dudes was letting us know, and we planned an event 3-4 months ahead. And when he came to the city and saw how we move, and then afterward we got the opportunity to build, we take him back to the church to eat. We ain't going to a restaurant because we want to talk about this Bible. Because I don't know you like that. I believe you're a Christian and you be having some dope bars, so let's talk. Dudes respect that. And then guess what? At another event, like I pop up at Flavor Fest or I pop up at Legacy Conference, and guess who I see? Eshawn. And guess who he remember? Me. Oh, that's my homie from Buffalo. What's good? How y'all doing out there? Yo, I had a great time. Yo, it's other ways to get with people. Stop acting like people owe you something and just show people that, yo, where we at, we working. And back when I met you, guess what you did? You popped up with people. You had lights. You had cameras. I didn't know you. But because what you was doing in your own city with your own television show, you let me know, well, if you don't know anything about Connecticut, this happened in here. Oh, that's what's up. There's all against the wall folk, about 6 of us. You had us all like, all right, y'all had to. Yo, that was dope because I wouldn't have known that if I would have never showed up in Connecticut. So if the one couple dudes didn't bring us to Connecticut, that wouldn't have gave us the opportunity to meet you. So how did I know what's happening in Connecticut and why have I been there 5 times in the last 4 years? Because of that. Because y'all doing something. Y'all doing something. Yeah. All them guys who've been to Buffalo in the last 4 years is because we was doing something here already. Do something at home and then look to network. But if you ain't doing at home and you just sitting at home making beats on and creating on Pro Tools and Logic, and then you throwing it on TuneCore and you believe people just supposed to gravitate to it, that may not be enough because it's a whole bunch of music out here. It may not be enough. That's right. That's all. So I'm done. I don't wax poetic. Right
I love it. I love it. I love it, bro. Those are some gems right there, bro. That's heard. That's heard. I know the people are receiving that right now, bro.
That's how I met Hog Mob. My homie from GOM, shout out Sayla the Corner, who I was real tight with because he came to my city. Actually, Bizzle came to my city. The next week, I was at Kingdom Choice Awards and saw Bizzle. Bizzle like, yo, what's good? Introduced me to Sayla. Introduced me to, shout out, grow the heck up, my homie Lavoisier. Bizzle introduced me to them dudes. Now me and Sayla building because we both in New York State. A year later, Sayla, one random call, hey, what's good, homie? Yo, my homie from the West Coast is going to be touring out here in the summer, and he looking for a couple dudes on the East Coast to connect with, and I ain't really nobody came to my mind to connect them with but you. And it was 7. I ain't never heard of 7. When he told me, I was like, what's his name? Typed him in on YouTube, checked him out. I was like, oh, and this dude good. I said, well, give him my number. He gave 7 my number. 7 called me a couple days later. We started talking. I brought him to my city for an event. And we did an event all weekend. We did a block party one day in the hood. And then the next day we was in another hood. And it's a church that's surrounded by 3 separate projects. And we convinced that church to let us use their event. Seb saw that and said, bro, this is what I like. Let's make sure we stay in touch. One thing lead to another. Another year later, he wound up asking me to consider being down with Hog Mob. But if I would have never brought him to if I wasn't active in my own city, Sayla wouldn't have even reached out to me because he could have just known me, but I don't really do nothing in my city. We just homies. Right. But because he knew I was active, that was the hookup. That's how I'm a part of Hog Mob today, because way back in 2014, Sayla called me and said, yo, my homie coming out. We brought 7 out in 2015, and we've been connected ever since. And I joined, when I met you, it was 2016, a year later, and I still wasn't a part of Hog Mob. It's just they was on the East Coast, and I was like, I put y'all as an extra hand. When 7 saw, like, bro, you willing to come and serve? It was Illuminate who was saying, yo, Zay, you need to rock. Yo, I want you to rock. I never asked for that. They just was on the East Coast and don't know the East Coast. So I was willing to go with them because I know the East Coast from my former life, traveling up and down the coast. I just know how to go up and down the coast. And I was just chauffeuring and serving with brothers. And from there, in the winter of 2016, I joined Hog Mob. And about a year later, I dropped the Caterpillar album in 2017, bro. And it's been So I'm only saying what I'm saying back because of what I did. How can I tell somebody something that I never did?
Yeah.
Man, get active in your own town. Put your money where your mouth is. You believe in yourself like that? Is this 4 or 5 Christian rappers in your city? Then y'all need to form a little unit, come up with a plan, and start promoting the gospel through your form of artistry and be consistent and see what happens in time.
Man, that's what's up, bro. Gems, brother.
So, yeah.
Gems. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Zaydok the Godhop MC, man, thank you for coming through, bro. Let the people know one more time.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Oh, yeah, you got it, man. Let the people know one more time where they can catch you at, man.
Yo, y'all can hit me up, man. Find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Godhop MC, and Facebook and YouTube. I'm Zaydok the Godhop MC. Please subscribe to my YouTube. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And please go ahead and like my artist page on Facebook, and you can stay in tune with what I do. And my music, y'all know the easiest way to find me? Type in Zaydok on Google. Zaydok. I own that algorithm in like 6 different languages because my name is unique in the way I spell it. I didn't even need a website because you could go to Google and once you type in Zaydok the rapper, Zaydok rapper, Google then gave me 2-3 pages before you get to anything else. I'm about 2-3 pages, homie.
I love it.
Hey, salute to you, man. God bless you back. And prayerfully, the next time that I'm down in your area, we'll get to build. And who knows, 100 hoods or pray for my hood might be coming your way. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. And again, y'all can check me out, John the Bap. Everything, like he said, I come up right on Google, man. Just John the Bap me, and y'all are good. Yeah, man. All right, brother. Take it easy, man.
Hey, salute to you, man. God bless you, homie. Hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, sir.
Building with Bap.